If you're a green card holder living in the United States, this is one video you need to watch carefully because there's a dangerous myth spreading online right now. A lot of people believe that once you have a green card, you are automatically safe forever, that you can't be deported, that you can't lose your status. But the truth is very different. Yes, green card holders can be deported. And in 2026, the risk is higher than many people realize, not because the law is suddenly new, but because enforcement is becoming stricter, screening is getting tougher, and small mistakes are being treated more seriously than before. Now let me be clear. This is not meant to scare you. This is meant to protect you. Because most deportation problems don't start with big crimes or dramatic situations. They start with small mistakes, misunderstandings, or simple carelessness. Things that can happen to ordinary, hardworking people. So today, I'm going to break down the real reasons green card holders can face removal, what mistakes are most common, and how you can stay safe. Let's start with the most common situation that triggers problems for permanent residents: travel. Many green card holders travel outside the U.S. to visit family, take care of parents, handle business, or deal with emergencies. That's normal. But what most people don't understand is that a green card does not guarantee unlimited time outside the United States. If you stay outside the U.S. for more than 6 months, you may be questioned heavily when you return. And if you stay outside for 1 year or more without a re-entry permit, you could be treated as if you abandoned your permanent residency. This is where many people get shocked. They come back to the airport thinking, I have a green card, I'm allowed to return. But the officer starts asking, where do you live? Where do you work? Why were you outside so long? Do you still maintain a home in the U.S.? Do you still pay taxes here? And if your answers are weak, inconsistent, or you don't have strong proof, the officer may believe you no longer intended to live permanently in the United States. That's a real risk in 2026 because airport screening is getting more intense, and CBP officers are paying closer attention to travel patterns. Now, the second major mistake, one that causes serious trouble, is lying or giving incorrect information at the airport. A lot of people get nervous during inspection. They panic, they answer too quickly, or they try to make their situation sound safer than it is. For example, some people tell CBP, I was only gone a few months, even when they were gone longer. Or they say, I live in the U.S., but they don't actually have a U.S. address. Or they say, I work in the U.S., but they haven't worked here for a year. Here's the truth. CBP already has your travel history. They can see your entries and exits. They can see your patterns. And if they believe you're lying, that becomes a bigger problem than the travel itself. Misrepresentation, giving false information to an immigration officer, can lead to serious consequences, including removal proceedings. So even if your situation is complicated, your safest move is to stay calm, tell the truth, and have documentation ready. Now let's talk about one of the biggest topics in 2026, criminal issues. This is where many green card holders get blindsided. Some people believe that deportation only happens if you commit a major crime. But immigration law does not work like that. There are certain charges, even ones that seem minor, that can trigger deportation. For example, some theft cases, fraud cases, domestic violence issues, drug-related offenses, firearm-related issues, and even certain DUI situations. And here's the part that is extremely important. Immigration consequences are not the same as criminal consequences. A person may take a plea deal in criminal court thinking, okay, I'm done. I paid the fine. But later, USCIS or ICE may treat that conviction as a deportable offense. This is why immigration attorneys always warn, never accept a criminal plea deal without speaking to a lawyer who understands immigration law. In 2026, the reason this is even more important is because enforcement and data sharing are stronger than ever. Immigration agencies can easily access criminal records, even older cases, even sealed cases in some situations. Even arrests that did not lead to conviction can still create complications, especially when combined with travel. Now, let's move to another mistake that seems boring but is extremely serious: taxes. Green card holders are considered U.S. residents for tax purposes in most cases. That means you're expected to file U.S. taxes properly and consistently. If you don't file taxes for years, that becomes a red flag. If you file incorrectly as a non-resident when you're actually a resident, that becomes a red flag. If you claim benefits or credits improperly, or if you hide income, that becomes a red flag. And here's the part many people don't realize. Tax issues can follow you for years. You might feel fine now, but when you apply for citizenship later, USCIS can review your tax history and see inconsistencies. That can lead to delays, denials, or deeper investigations. Even if you are not applying for citizenship, serious tax fraud can become a legal issue, and legal issues can become immigration issues. Now, another mistake that seems small but is required by law: failing to report and address change. Many non-citizens in the U.S. are legally required to report a change of address within a specific time frame, usually within 10 days. Green card holders are included in that requirement. A lot of people don't do it. They move, they forget, they assume it doesn't matter. But when you're in an immigration process, or if you're dealing with a legal issue, that missing record can become a problem. It's also a practical risk. USCIS mail is extremely important. If you miss an appointment notice, biometrics notice, or request for evidence because you didn't update your address, your case can be denied. And yes, denials and missed appointments can create serious immigration consequences. Now let's talk about another big 2026 issue: getting stuck in the U.S. immigration system because of paperwork mistakes. Some green card holders let their card expire and assume it doesn't matter because their status is permanent. Technically, your status doesn't expire, but your proof of status does. And an expired green card can cause serious problems with employment, travel, driver's license renewals, and re-entry. If you travel with an expired green card, you may face major delays or even denial of boarding from the airline. If you apply for certain benefits, you may be blocked. So while an expired card doesn't automatically mean deportation, it can lead to a chain of events that creates risk. Now another issue: claiming to be a U.S. citizen. This is one of the fastest ways a green card holder can destroy their immigration status. Some people make this mistake on forms, job applications, or voting registrations. Sometimes it's intentional, but sometimes it's an accident. For example, a person checks the wrong box on a job form, or someone at the DMV registers them to vote, and they sign without understanding. But under immigration law, falsely claiming U.S. citizenship is extremely serious. It can lead to permanent immigration consequences, including being barred from future benefits. In 2026, this issue is even more dangerous because records are more connected than ever. Voting databases, DMV systems, federal systems, many of these can be checked. So if you are a green card holder, never claim citizenship on any form unless you are actually a U.S. citizen. Now let's talk about another risk that many people ignore: using public benefits incorrectly. This topic is often misunderstood online. Many people panic and believe any public benefit will destroy their status. That's not always true. But certain benefits, in certain situations, can create complications, especially when applying for citizenship or when traveling. The bigger risk is not necessarily using benefits, but using them incorrectly, or giving false information on applications. Fraud, any type of fraud, can lead to deportation risk. Now let's talk about something new and trending in 2026: social media scrutiny and online inconsistencies. USCIS and immigration officers can review your public online presence. They can also compare your social media, LinkedIn, and other profiles with your official filings. If you claim on LinkedIn that you worked somewhere you never worked, or you show a job title that doesn't match your immigration paperwork, or you advertise a side business that you never reported, that can raise questions. This doesn't mean they are always watching you, but it does mean your digital footprint matters. So if you are a green card holder, keep your online profiles consistent with reality. Don't exaggerate. Don't post things that look like fraud. Don't claim jobs you never had. Now here's another major risk: marriage fraud or relationship fraud. If your green card was based on marriage, USCIS can investigate if they suspect the marriage was not genuine. This can happen even years later, especially during naturalization. Some people separate or divorce and think, My green card is already approved. I'm done. But if USCIS believes the marriage was fraudulent, that can create removal proceedings. That doesn't mean divorce is illegal. People divorce all the time for real reasons. The issue is fraud. The issue is fake relationships. So if your green card was marriage-based, keep your documents, keep your proof, keep your history clean and consistent. Now let's talk about something that causes huge fear, being placed into removal proceedings. Many people think deportation happens instantly. In most cases, it doesn't. Usually, the government starts a legal process, but the scary part is this. Once you're in that process, it becomes expensive, stressful, and complicated, even if you have a defense, even if you have rights. So the goal is not to win removal later. The goal is to avoid getting into that situation at all. Now let's discuss what you should do to stay safe. First, take travel seriously. If you need to be outside the US for long periods, consider applying for a re-entry permit. If you're going to be outside for more than 6 months, prepare documentation that proves your ties to the US, your home, your job, your tax filings, your family, your bank accounts, your lease or mortgage. Second, don't lie to immigration officers. Don't guess. Don't panic. If you don't know an answer, say you don't know. If you made a mistake, be honest. Third, avoid legal trouble. If you are arrested or if you have a criminal charge, do not treat it as just a small case. Talk to a lawyer who understands immigration consequences before accepting any plea deal. Fourth, file taxes properly. Even if you're unemployed, file correctly. If you're confused, hire a tax professional. It's worth it. Fifth, keep your paperwork updated. Renew your green card on time. Update your address. Keep copies of important documents. And finally, understand the biggest truth. The safest green card holder is the informed green card holder. A lot of people get into trouble not because they are bad people, but because they trusted rumors, ignored warnings, or didn't understand the rules. And speaking of rumors, let me end with a warning. In 2026, there is a massive wave of fake immigration news online. You will see headlines like, "Green card holders must report by March 15th or face removal," or "New law says all green card holders will be deported," and many of these are completely false. So always verify your information through official sources like USCIS, DHS, and trusted immigration attorneys. If you want, I can also create a follow-up video script explaining the most common fake immigration news and how to spot it. But for now, remember this. Yes, a green card holder can be deported, but most deportation cases are preventable. If you avoid the common mistakes, keep your documents clean, and stay informed, you can protect yourself and your family. If this video helped you, please like, subscribe, and comment below. Are you a green card holder? And what topic do you want me to cover next? Travel rules, citizenship timeline, or green card renewal? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Scripta kemon reading ko to diba? And a scripta ki full audience thore rakhte parbe.